Good evening, everyone. It's been a long time. I just checked the channel and it's been a month ever since I posted episode 3 of the Magistrate course, Book Laws versus Online Listings. This is Peanut. We're doing a video today. Don't push the computer. Don't push the computer. Don't do it. But I was so anxious, so I grabbed her and was like, you know what? You're going to help me feel better for this video. So it's been a month. The ambassador course finished. There was a graduate, and I took a break. All right, I had real life happen. A lot of things have happened, and turns out, I needed time for myself. Okay, so here we are. She might actually leave my arms in a minute. Let's do it again. Remember, I posted this video already. Hold on a second, you guys. This is episode 2. Wait. No, it should be episode 3. Oh no, actually I have to scroll. Let's scroll. You know what? Let's scroll. I'm not gonna restart it. We're gonna do it like this. We're gonna roll like this. Let's go all the way down. If you wanna watch episode, okay, she's gonna go. If you want, bro. If you wanna watch episode 2, it's already on the channel. All right. Let's see. We're gonna keep scrolling. Even more. A little bit more. There you go. Wait. Okay. Yeah, episode 3. All right. I don't know if I can make the screen bigger, or how does this? Hey! You're not that. You're too big to climb my arm. All right, not happening. She used to do that when she was a kitten. She'll get up here. A little power. All right. Welcome to GCU, guys. I'm Victoria's Typist. Been doing this for a while. This is Peanut again. If you're new here, I founded the Gorean Continental University. I used to teach for the Gorean campus. Was there for 4 years. I picked up some classes, like Liliana's classes, a few others classes for the cartographers. Then I introduced my own material, wrote up a few courses, kept them with me, took them with me. Once my beloved friend passed, God bless her soul. I mean, she rests in peace forever. I really do miss her. I never looked back to the campus after that. So let's just say that maybe it was a decade and a little more before I decided to make the school and start teaching. I want to teach some scribe classes, but we'll see what happens with that. We're doing map makers, ambassadors, we're doing cartographer and YouTube gore. I have tutoring going on. It's happening. I just don't really want to associate myself with any other institutions inside of the game, to be honest. So I'm doing my own thing, keeping it by the books, being a collector of the books myself, and a good reader. So I was thinking of doing book readings every now and then, but honestly, what I want to focus on is bringing GCU to other sims, getting it around, teaching a class here, a class there, class here, class there. That way, the students are coming in, that they're teleporting to other places, and they're getting to know these sims, and I can help you, I can help them and help sim owners, and help them, the role players, to find your sim and stay if they want. In the end, or if they're just gonna actually join your sim. So I think that's gonna be what I'm gonna do with the GCU. Be that mobile school. Just go wherever, wherever. As long as it's BTB, I really don't do GE, guys. I think I spent 1 day on GE and I just left. It was annoying. They really don't RP. I mean, I haven't tried it in maybe 6 years, so I'll give them that. Maybe it changed a little bit. I don't know. But let's get started. One piece of news is that there will be no classes until October. I'm graduating in real life, the bachelor's, getting that in September, so I'm not going to be around much. I'll send some notices through the group, but probably keep doing this seminar. People are calling it the Magistrate course, so but it's really a seminar. Basically means that there wasn't a expected time for me to post a video. I was just gonna post it whenever I could, and you find it and you watch it. That's how I'll share it online, in game, in the world, and just send it around. But people are calling it a course. They're all asking me, "Oh, when are you gonna drop that video? When are you gonna drop that video? You're done with the video?" And I was like, they were actually asking me if I was finished. And I'm like, "No, I'm not finished. I haven't had time to post it. It's taken 1 month to remake this video. Can you believe it?" Here's what happened. I spent 1 hour and a half talking to myself on the microphone. When I realized that, I was like, yeah, 1 month later, today, right now, I'm doing it. It took me a while. I was camera shy. Very camera shy. My hair was a mess. I was like, oh shit, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So here we are. I'm gonna go through this. Remember, I'm taking a break from Second Life. Maybe for the next five more days, I'll be back. See what happens. Went through some stuff, but it's gonna be alright. I'm gonna focus on the school. This school, like I said, it was created to commemorate and honor someone that really meant a lot to me. If you want to know more about me and Jan's friendship, hit me up in World or email me to victoria.forestender@gmail.com, and I'll send you some videos and pictures. My interview with her, I interviewed her. Do you know that I used to be one of the first few reporters in World in the game that started those random interviews? You know, when you go to a sim, you sit down with a character, with a role player, and you ask them, "Do you want to do this interview IC or OC?" I was doing the IC and OC interviews back in the day for the Voice of Core with Ryrus Yuroki or Yukori. I'm probably butchering your name. I'm sorry. We don't really talk a lot, so I know him for a while. I watch him open Sims and then disappear. Yeah, there's been a lot of new newspapers coming up though. A lot of interviews. It's just a door scratcher. I mean, no, she's hungry, but there's a lot of interviews, a lot of new newspapers. Just watch it all. You know, just at this point, after being doing this for so long, you just sit back and watch things unfold. The saddest thing of our whole entire, I guess, genre or community, is those random Sims that pop and go. There's a lot of Northern Sims now. Quite interesting. They're very small, but they're beautiful. I've been going to a lot of Sims lately, and I think I'm gonna start these series of like you go to the sim, you record it, you give a little review on the way that the laws are set up, or the rules, or the raid laws, whatever your assassin laws, whatever you have up there, and the way your build is, things like that, and what it reminds me of. Like I might just give a sim review, and put it out there on the groups. The thing is that I'm very wary of the type of notices that I send, because a lot of groups have rules where like you can only send notices about events, in world events that are related to gore, things like that. So I don't know how they're gonna take to a YouTube video about a particular sim. I mean, if I really do like it, I'm probably gonna turn it into an advertisement for free. Like I don't really mind them if the review is very positive and whatnot. It's gonna be your ad. Okay, it's gonna be here and on our YouTube channel, and I'm gonna send it to the group and stuff. They're a GCU grew so fast. It has gotten so fast. Like it happened so fast. I'm sorry. And 53, 56 members. I don't know. A 60. I don't even know. Okay, I gotta check. But I'm very happy for all of you to join and learn and keep up and ask me how things are and what's gonna happen next. I'm very excited. I might just do this scribe course for Inworld, or maybe keep it online on YouTube. I don't know. The thing about in character scribe training, I find it a little bit annoying because basically you cannot make it as complicated as a PCOG cult class or training. You cannot. It's not worth it. You're not gonna go to a sim for an hour or two and sit there and read, things posted on local chat and just read it. Just read it out. Oh, and start asking questions. You have this person typing, introducing their little weird ass, emoticons and emotes and all the stuff that they want to post. I mean, I post scripts. Okay, a lot of my courses are typed out, and I post them. And I ask them, hey, you have a question, whatnot. Just post it. Make sure I check it out and update it every now and then. As the course closes and it starts all over again next time, it begins again. But I don't know. I just find it very annoying to go there and sit there for a scribe class. Like the scribe class it's not. After doing it for so long, it's just not that complicated. The color is blue. You don't have to wear it all the time. Read the first 5 books, the first 10 books, the first 20 books. You're good. Read the last book, so you know how much Jordan Orba has changed his ideas over the years. I mean, he's gonna do Warrior of Gore, I think, in October. I gotta look it up. Do I have it in my avatars? I have it in my profile somewhere on Victoria, I think. When that book is coming out, I think it's Warrior of Gore. I gotta check, alright? Because I could be wrong. It's a lot. After a little while, I just stopped either reading or collecting, but I'm probably gonna get back into it, okay? Now that I'm enjoying my time more than I was before when I was totally invested in having some of the busiest roles that I could have ever had. I mean, I'm very thankful for it. I enjoy my time as a header cast or magistrate or ambassador. It's been a lot of fun for all these years. Just very time consuming, and then real life, knocks on you and your door and it's like, hey, I remember you got a life out here, and then you go. Health happens, and then I'm out here. I log in, and the next thing I know, actually, now it takes me like 12 hours to log in or something. It takes me forever. Gotta go to work, gotta come home, gotta do real life, gotta do adulting, gotta cook. And then you get online, and it's like 11 p.m. No one is online. Just the Euros. And they're actually AFK. Unless there's actually roleplay out there. You're staring at those fancy ass slave avatars. I have a pet peeve with y'all. I really do. Because we're not by the books. I just want to put that out there. I've actually had more respect for a Tahirian slave character than I would for a regular Kajiri or Kajira in the South. Because like the Tahirian, I've noticed a lot of them actually know how to dress, how to actually, all the anklets and things like that. They wear the veils, like for the free women. There are just a lot of things that are not being done properly, and it's getting on my nerves. So I try to deal with it. Just deal with it. But the Scribecast, I might do a course in World. There'll be some script, some material, a little bit of homework, some practice. We'll see. Mainly, I want to focus on the forms that are used. I have been using forms forever. There is a new fever in the world of no cards are bad, no cards are evil, no cards are boring. Bro, my forms are everywhere, kind of, but guess what? So they had quotes. They had book quotes on them. Then at one point I put the laws of the city on the form in particular. So if you have a companionship form, it had the laws related to companionship and inheritance and what happens if you're enslaved, whatever like that. And then I went from that to just having the form very to the point. I removed the whole contesta R, the whole Gorean date situation. Just put a regular today's date. Okay? If you want to use the Gore calendars and put the whole long ass calendar thing with the week and the month and the year, that's fine. You can do that. I have those calendars too. And I have the ones where you can set up the city, even though that calendar is missing a few of the new Sims. I get it. I know there is a group or a guild in World that is organizing a list of all the Sims. They actually sent me a list. They're doing this map thing where you can actually teleport. I might make a video, but I think it's fascinating that you actually went everywhere and it started to make this list is pretty critical. And I love how even the smaller Sims and tiniest communities, they're there. They made the list, and you can find them. You can go there. This is what I did on the ambassador course. This last edition, I mentioned a lot about. I talked a lot about how important it was to do contracts in with these smaller sims. The bigger sims, yeah, they're there. They're high. They're full. Maybe AFKs, maybe bots, maybe people who are actually replaying and building stories rather than being on Discord or on IMs, whatever. Yeah, they're there. Okay, but there's smaller sims that are a little bit easier to build relationships with than the bigger ones, honestly. And then the big ones, there's like this whole round table of people involved behind the scenes. It can get a little toxic, honestly. But maybe you have the smaller sims where they have like a smaller group of admins and an owner and things like that, or owners, respectively. But honestly, smaller sims, smaller cities, villages, ports. If you're BTB, and they're very important too. I brought that up. I brought that up on the ambassador class. So it's been 15 minutes. It's all for the update. Like I said, it'll be a scribe course. It might be in World or it might be over here on YouTube. We'll see. I just don't want anyone to come in for an hour and sit there when you can be on your sim role playing, or you could be getting to know your forms. It really is all about the forms. It is about, selling your skill, working for someone else, working for a slave house, working for the Uber, working for the administrator, finding work that you can do, thinking outside of the box and not just thinking that you're going to be called for this and that's it. You can be an accountant. There's the online systems that only merchants are accountants. Not really. It's scribes. This is scribe cast. The mathematicians, they're scribes too. Astronomers, historians, copiers, they all are teachers. They're all scribes. The magistrates, the praetors, they have a lot of power too. Even the praetors are more, they have a lot of power. There's like a whole 2 to 3 pages dedicated to a praetor and a public hearing of a woman that ended up being enslaved permanently. I gotta find that back for you, but praetors have a lot of power. There's like all this online instance, like they have like no power, and praetors can be warriors, they can be scribes, they don't have to be just one thing or this. It was a political role. What a political role means that you have to you go for it, you get elected or voted upon. Sorry, the camera is here or here. I have no idea, but you get voted upon. And remember, your high council. You don't need everybody to have a meeting. I hate that because they wait for everyone to be appointed or to be online or to plan it. No, 4 people, you're good. 4 or 5 people, you're good. The Uvara, the few head of cast that you have, the administrator, the regent. You don't always need to have a regent appointed in that time, though. I've seen this a lot. You have to wait until you have everyone, and then in 2 months you make the meeting. 1 month you make the meeting. It takes too much time. There's role play. There's stories going on. You don't have to wait forever to actually make this decision of who's going to be the new ambassador or the magistrates. The scribe could have a lot to do with that, like appointing a temporary legal law official. There's also these separate legal scribes. Like, what is this? There's the scribes of the law. They're referred to as that. I have people calling themselves lawyers, and it's litigator. That would be a book term. Advocate, also there, like lawyer, judge. Seriously, no. Magistrate, please use that one. It gets crazy. I have to deal with so much in all these years. It's just crazy. But you know what? You know what I'm always talking about? Making sure that the roleplay gets done and it gets done fast, and it just happens. If people can be there, the ambassador role, like I say, it's a very political role. A warrior can do it. A scribe can do it. Sometimes if you have a merchant free pour or a merchant, it'll be a merchant magistrate. Like all these roles are roles that you have candidates. They can give a little speech about what they're gonna do. I mean, I know I went to R when it opened, and there was this campaign for the they're using Greek terms here, Roman terms. I don't know. I want to go with Gorean terms here. What's she gonna be? A censor, something like that. She was gonna be this political role that we're using a terminology for, but she was doing a campaign for it. I'm not sure if she got elected though, but there was like posters everywhere, and then there was like her speech, like choose me for this type of role, and I'm gonna do this and that for all y'all. And what I like about R though, they do have a citizen comedy. Your town hall, town meeting, town hall meeting. The citizen comedy, that's pretty cool. You can have that stuff once a week. You could do a feast. You can do a meeting with everybody, or have the Uvara's door open for everyone. Like, in the city, being together in the same place, that doing this role playing is pretty cool. because a lot of the times the roleplay just goes everywhere, and you just never know. Even though having random scenes, random crime happen, that's pretty good too. Though, like, there was this time, I think I talked about this on one of these seminars where I think I was in Toria. I remember there was this slave that sent me an ogre saying that she stole a bunch of books and just sent me the emotes, and I was like, okay. I was wondering if I should file a report, if I should go and find out, if I should call her so we can actually do the scene. She actually sent me the emotes, like, how slave shores emotes, stuff like that. Yeah, that happened, and I don't know. I don't think I ever took it IC because I was like, you know what, do it when I'm here, or when I'm online, or when someone is there online and can see you. Like, I know you're trying to steer things up and kick things up and have something happen, but it's a little bit like, ugh, okay, should I acknowledge this? What do I do? So I talked to, I think I talked to them once, and we decided to like have her do it while I was there. Let's get this started over here. So we're gonna continue those 74 laws. I've been talking a lot already, but you know how this rolls. Okay, let's go because we're running out of time. Phrase stripping of a woman, forcefully removing her veils, is a serious crime. Yes, it is. I heard of this happening in Telnas recently when I was there. And I think the person was enslaved by their father and then sold in R or I don't know where. I think someone removed their veil. Come on. Yeah, if your veils are removed, go to the magistrate, call someone. If you haven't committed a gesture, a gesture of a slave gesture, you're fine. If you're not branded or you have like no coloring marks over here. I mean, you could have been choked, but tell a law official. If you prefer the word legal, official, legal, scribe, they want to use the legal stuff. Oh my gosh. Weapons are not permitted within an initiate temple. Initiate law is very complex, very interesting. You cannot carry weapons to the temple. Unfortunately, a lot of sims don't have a space for them. There's a few of them. I know there are sims that do have, the appropriate time for them. I just noticed my computer was muted. I'm worried. What if their audio didn't record? I'll just finish. And if I have to do it again, I'll do it again. Okay. Shaving of slicing of metal from any coin is considered to be theft or fraud. This device is the value of the coin. Remember, a tarn disc, you can cut it off into pieces, but not a regular coin. Like if you have a silver coin or gold coin, but a tarn disc was actually huge. It was a big disc, and you'll cut it up and make some Tarsk bits. Tarsk bits. Okay. By law, the slaver caste is the caste of the merchants caste. Slavers, though, like to consider themselves a separate caste. Yes, this is true. This is very true. To all of you thinking that you're just a slave or a standalone, no, you're not. You're a merchant. I'm sorry. Like a lot of them think that they're not part of the merchant caste. They like their own. They have like their own group too. It's like that's not worth it. Like you are part of the merchant caste. You're probably one of their first subcastes. Like this onlineism is everywhere. Actually, it's very annoying. As a slaver, you're training livestock, you're capturing livestock, you're acquiring livestock, you're valuing livestock, you're training livestock, you're branding livestock, you're selling livestock. You're a merchant. The slaves are considered operating on the same level as animals. Their owner may do anything they wish to them without repercussion. An owner can even kill a slave with impunity. I don't see a lot of brutality happen to them, though. Because sometimes a slave is like your real life wife, so it's like, oh, honey, you can't do that roleplay with me because I'm too sensitive. I'm too sensitive for that roleplay. It's like there's like a whole these see stuff going on. So I don't see a lot. I don't maybe 1 in 10 I have seen where something bad actually happens to the thing, and it's a very interesting roleplay. But then sometimes no, like I've seen like all kinds of weird shit. Honestly, let's keep going. Slaves may not own anything, including a name, even though they may use goods. They do not own them. Yeah, they earn them. They earn or receive a gift, or they get a gift, they give it to their owner, like, hey, can I wear this? May I wear this? The slaves didn't always speak in third person either, like she, only like once in the books. I've seen them use that a lot in Second Life. It's like a thing. Just like the kneeling thing, where they're always kneeling and sweeping the floor with their knees. Imagine doing that in a realistic, like in a real life perspective. Like, you would have destroyed knees. But it happens so. But yeah, they didn't own anything. Like, all of these heavily adorned slave avatars, they just get on my nerves. They distract me so much. I'm just trying to do this role playing. They're like standing there with like a bajillion jewelry pieces and their avatar. Sorry. And I'm just like, then I feel like I have to raise the standards for myself. Like, oh, should I put this on? Should I wear this on? Oh, it's very, very, very annoying. But they don't own anything. I think I've caught some posts of like conflicting ideas about, oh, I have this, I have that. No, I think I've caught it. I can't remember now, but anyway, no player, musician, poet, or singer cast member may be enslaved within a city or limits. This happens. This is true. Don't do anything to them unless they're breaking the law, of course. Like, if a poet is going around naked, submitting to everyone, or doing some weird shit of the players, like stealing the home stone. I mean, the players just really play their game. They're great. The singer singing some crap, that's okay. They can sing some crap. You know, of course they can go through all of that. They're just gonna be enslaved. There's let the singer sing, let the poet tell poetry. It is illegal for slaves to play caisas. It's considered an insult to free men, not only for slaves to play, but to even touch the pieces. Yeah, once again, the players are like very religious about the caisa games and the star games. I think they have a lot of table games. My character really never played table games, so none of them did though. Like, none of my main characters ever really played table games. I did have enough time for it. I never really got into it. I was like, I read about it all, yeah, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I don't know, sitting there doing small chat and moving pieces, touching this stuff. Nah, not me. I don't know, but I know there's a lot of you out here who are very religious about it. So yeah. In any legal proceedings, the testimony was able to be taken by torture. This is solely in the discretion of the courts. Yes, and it has to be done by a clansman of the torturers. Okay, torturers clan, which are part of the Wagons people, which are Turian. They're from, the plains down there in the south. Not in the Tahari, a little lower than that. So you need a clansman. Though I have seen where they do the warrior does it, or the UR wants to do it, or some male wants to do it. If you really, there's a group where you can actually get black cast, or you can get assassins, you can get torturers. There's groups for that. You can try to call them. You can even NPC one. You can use your alt for it to do one. It's not that hard. They have instruments. They have emotes, and they do things, and they don't kill you. That's what they do. I've actually had hired one or two in the past. They do very good emotes. They really don't kill the subject unless the person ends up dying from the torture. But I've never seen that end up in death. But the testimony has to be taken like that. Like, if you are asking questions of a slave when something really, really bad happens, or someone is being suspected of something, the slave was a witness, and you're not torturing them, that's not good. The property of one who becomes slave is transferred to the nearest male, a relative of the nearest relative, if no male exists, or to the city or the guardian, even if the slave is later free, the property cannot be recovered. Sorry. You can also proclaim or declare an heir. Sorry. There's a form for that. You can declare an heir to if you never really got to have anyone at all, and in your decade in Second Life. I'm the one who had, like, most of my kids are actually NPCs because they're not being played right now. Let's see. My other character, I think one of his daughters is played, one of his sisters played, so there's that too. Another one of these is found in the book. Is labor owner dies, his slaves pass to his heirs, or he has no heirs to the state. Yes, that's very true. This should be a smooth process, honestly. If you can declare, an heir. You can go to the scribes, declare it, file it up. If you don't have a son or daughter or a male relative you trust with your property, so you can do that. Capture rights pertain to all property, including slaves. Active possession of the slaves regarded as crucial by the law. Slave must fully serve anyone who possesses her, even a thief. If the slave runs away from the thief, this is considered to be a runaway. Women are permitted to escape from a capture as long as they have not yet been slave or committed a gesture of slavery. The point of this law is to keep slaves in bondage and to make men bold. Institution of capture is honored by all cities, provided the females capture are those of an enemy city. So they're in raids, yeah. When you have like the raid and rescue situation. It brings me back to this idea of the woman that was face stripped and enslaved by her father for that. I don't know. Like, if you have a problem with someone's roleplay, like, I don't know, talk it out and don't, walk away, something like that. But don't, like, do some outrageous, like, stuff like that. It was weird. It was weird. But capture laws are at least honored everywhere. Most of the laws I've seen, they always include something about it. So it's pretty plain and simple. If the slave runs away from the owner, I think there's 21 days or a week if you want to do it like that, or 5 days, whatever the slave house or the kennels. We shouldn't be used anymore, please. This is a slave house. You can have many of them in a city. It doesn't have to be one specific slave house of the Ovar. What is this? No, it can be. There can be an endless amount of slave houses in the city. I don't know why there has to be like one designated slave house in the city. It's really annoying. Yeah, run away. Okay, you can do a procedure for that. When you capture one, you take it to the slave house, and then there's a few days that you have to where you can send a letter to the owner and tell them, hey, here we have captured the slave. The slave paper says that it would belong to you. If you don't come to recover, you have to pay a fine, or we're gonna claim the slave, things like that. So you have the examine, you have the wine that's administered, and then it's good to go. If it's branded, it's good to go. So, like I said, things should really move faster. If the laws of stolen runaway slaves taken by another person, the original master has only 1 week. There you go. To regain his property legal title. I was talking about the same thing. It was just down there. I wasn't paying attention. There's this microphone has lights in it. There's another light here. I was trying to do the YouTuber stuff, so I have lights on me. It's a little annoying. Let me give you a progression. Yeah, you can set. It could be a week. It could be 21 days. You can set this. It's okay if you set your own time for it. Especially as a scribe or a magistrate dealing with the situation, or the slave or dealing with the situation, you can just set a time. Like, this is your deadline. You have until this time to pick up the slave, or we're gonna claim it, something like that. For a slave to run away from her owner as a serious offense, with the first offense, the penalty is commonly a severe beating. She's only allowed to a single mistake. The penalty for a second offense is unusually hamstring. Sorry. Remember, I'm bilingual, and my accent comes out when I'm tired. Tired right now. It's sweaty. I had to turn off the AC because it was too loud. So you were going to hear it through the microphone. I didn't want it to happen. Like I said, I don't see a lot of brutality being shown to them anymore in the game for some reason. Like I said, there's a lot of them that are related to the other typist out of character. So, unless they get off of actually doing severe roleplay. But otherwise, I don't see it at all. It's like they can do whatever they want and nothing happens to them. It's crazy. But I do remember seeing like a lot of them wear these tattoos and their mesh bodies where they're like they got beaten or something. They got pliers. They put on the tattoo. So I've seen that happen. Y'all do whatever you want to do. A free woman can tell her. So yeah, there's the whole submission stuff. This is not the same as a contract woman, okay? From the pani culture, not the same. A regular submission is not the same as a contract woman. They're very different, okay? Don't get it confused. Please don't get it confused. If you want to learn about contract women, I might be able to do a video about it, or you can find a lot of information in World. You can go to the Gorean campus library or the Tampico library, or ask ask your next Joe to give you a note card about it because they're everywhere. Or if you see a pani character, you can ask them. Although a lot of them lately don't really know what they're doing. So this thing is all Japanese culture, Asian culture, anime style. I'm gonna wear this and that, and I'm penny. That's what they do. It's very annoying, but they're not the same thing. There is a procedure for submissions of a document if you want to file it that gives them a time. However, if you submit, even if you put in a document that is only for 1 year or 6 months, the person that has you, they can kill you. They can do all kinds of stuff to you, sell you. So it's complicated. Once you give up your freedom, it's just really, really complicated. Really, I never do any of that. Like I don't even have a protector. I don't have a guardian. I'm nobody's ward. Never have been, never will be. Okay. In my role play, my character has a father. I always NPC some kind of male relative somewhere. So it's even on the city, I really never do the whole. I mean, as the scribe that has to prepare those scrolls for someone else, yeah, I'll prepare your scrolls. But for me, myself, my character, never gonna have a protector, a guardian, nobody's ward. Everything NPC'd, everything worked out into the story. I don't really trust anyone with that kind of, having that, contract, especially with how sick minded few members of the community are. I really don't really trust that kind of roleplay because my limits are there, even though I don't like limits, but there's a few things that I'm not gonna sit for, or roleplays that I'm not gonna have. So if you ask Victoria, do you have a protector? She might be like, oh, my dad is somewhere. I'm studying here. I claim cast sanctuary as well, whatever. Oh, I'm doing this and that. Like, there's always a response. I never had one, guys. However, in my male character, I did have wards. I had like 3 wards at one point. I had a few free women that I would protect and do that, have that contract in between. Very respected, Um, you can give them a place to live or help them in roleplay. You can give them money. You can buy them stuff or give them money so they can buy stuff for themselves. You can protect them. You can arrange their companionships, represent them, go to court with them if you have to. So that's what you are. But a lot of the times I see that they're sleeping with them, even though I know free women had a sexual life, but it's like it's a little cringy. I don't know. I mean, well, y'all do whatever you want to do though, 'cause a lot of people get off with this stuff. So whatever. But even as a guardian, hey. So protection is if you are not an orphan. Protection is if you're in a city, but your family is somewhere else. Worship or guardianship, it's if your father maybe dead, but you have a living mother, you're not completely an orphan. Okay, guardianship if you're not an orphan. Um, Adoption if you're a complete orphan and you need to be adopted, which requires a companionship to adopt you. Free man and free woman adopting you, okay? In simple terms. Guardianship, the free man can just be your guardian. Do the paperwork. Protection paperwork with the free man. Free women don't protect other free women, alright? I guess if you're in Tarna, maybe. There's this thing I noticed in R where the Marlena's third, second, whatever, he has like wards, and there is this ward that is pregnant. I'm not sure who she is to him, I silly, but there's this ward that is pregnant. I'm like, you are a pregnant ward. That means you might have had a companion. Maybe he died, and she's just dealing with the baby afterwards. Because a lot of them play like the companion died in battle if the companion is of the warrior caste, whatever, or a combatant or fighter. Maybe her companion died or something, and he's guarding her now and giving her housing and lodging and status and station and protecting the child. Maybe she'll accompany him in the future or not. But he has several. Wards. Um, I don't know. It's a little. It's a little. Because if you are not an orphan, no reason to do that. I know maybe it doesn't look all right for every woman to have a baby and her companion died, but it happened a lot, especially if her companion had to fight in war or in battle. It was normal for you to, oh, I'm pregnant, but you'll get companion. So, you know, that was like one of the few things you have to look forward to in Korean life. It was like looking forward to going to college, but instead you're just getting companioned. It was like that. So I don't know. It was just a little weird to see her. I was like, how are you a ward if you? But it would have been weirder if they were actually doing things and then she had a baby and I was like, okay, so you're not combating me. You're doing things. She's your ward. I've seen a lot of things. I really don't know what's going on between them. I know that I have seen those typists. I know that typist and the typist and the other. I know them from other Sims, but I don't know what they're doing with that. Like I said, it's just a Sim review, and I look at things and I'm like, it's just crazy. If every woman submits to be a slave to a specific man and refuses the offer, she shall become a slave, subject to capture by the first person to follow her. Yeah, once you commit a gesture of submission or of slavery, once you kneel, you do your hands crossed, nothing like that. Once you do that, you're out. Especially if you do it in public, anyone can be like, "Oh, I claim you." Can't really take it back. You can't. Once every woman kneels, you can't really take it back. I'm sorry, especially if it's in public and you're watched. So keep that in mind for anyone that's like kneeling and getting up like nothing happened. Or maybe they're a little bit hurt or they're hurt. I don't want to say the whole butt hurt thing. That's it implies anal sex. Really weird. This video has to be 18 plus. I swear. So guess what? So if you were to just kneeling, getting up, that's odd. That's very odd. If you go into the mods like, oh, I don't like this roleplay, I need it to be voided, please. I don't like what's happening. Okay, they could try to work with you. Or you might not be able to stick around for a while because of what you're doing in the drama, but please just stop making gore cringing. Please. And slaves are not permitted outside the city gates unless accompanied by a free person. Yeah, a lot of them can NPC being escorted, or actually have someone escort them, have a guard. That's fine. High slaves had guards, they had a whole entourage. I mean, the older slaves called them mistresses. They had a hierarchy. They had a lot going on for themselves. But even then, they didn't look like the ones that we have in the world at all. They didn't look like Lisso. Okay? They weren't clad and covered. I mean, if you're gonna dance, you're gonna be decorated. You're gonna be in silks, but you didn't look like the way that it looked like. Like, take a look at them though, and even your own, and ask yourself, is this Gorean or are we just doing this because of fancy? Because we like it, we get off of it. At the end of the day, you're not gonna care because it's just playing. It's your game. You're gonna want to have it your way. You're gonna want to enjoy your way with your friend, with your OC person, whatever the circumstances are, the relationships are. But it's whatever, yo. It's just uncomfortable because I'm watching it. It's like, it's not. I wish, once you read the books and you get into them to watch, you get a little addicted to them, and you're like, it's not the same in the world. Kind of want to walk away. Anyway, I have no way of checking the audio until I post and upload the video. I have no idea if the video is working, guys. But let's roll it. I might end it in an hour. I wanted to get through more, but I might end it in an hour. That way, if there's a mistake, but then I have to re-record it, I'll be back. So, slaves are permitted outside the city gates. Oh, we already went through that one. Sorry. Brain. Damn it. That happens when you're in the game for too long. You have to deal with a lot of different people and the shit they do. OC and IC. Anyway, there's a capital offense for a slave to wield any weapon. That's true unless you're a fighting slave. Which you could be male or female, but you need a permit for that. However, the permit doesn't have to be signed by everyone and their mother. Like, have it signed by the commander, have it signed by the Uvar, have it signed by the Uvara, the region. If you want to have everyone appointed to do anything at all, have it signed by one of those people, and you can have a fighting slave. Or you're gonna have to have a fighting pen, a fighting club, things like that. Those events have to happen. I don't know about having a slave guards. They're not really a thing, by the way, at all. So don't do that. But they can be punished for touching a weapon. This is why in the warrior cast, 3 women were the ones that deal with the weapons, cleaning them, keeping them, the leather work, things like that. They'd occupy themselves with that and with childcare, things like that. It wasn't like going around and red and being a bee for no reason. That wasn't it. So if you're gonna be a fighting slave or you're gonna protect your free person, you need a fighting permit. And I really hope that the process of you getting that permit and character isn't too complicated. I think I'm dealing with cat hair. Yeah. Oh my god. I try to do lipstick, it'll look alright. I only did lipstick. I don't do much makeup anymore. Middle age crisis. It is a capital offense for a slave to claim caste. Yes, it is. I don't care what you were before. You might have your skills and experience. You might employ those skills for your free person or free persons or free whoever the hell owns you. So have a group. It's getting weirder these days. You never know, but you really don't have one. Maybe in the Tahari they get a little weirder about it, a little odd about it, which can pass. It can pass, but they cannot do that. If they walk around saying that they have an issue, they have to be trained. You can talk to the typist if you think the typist is too sensitive to be punished. Just talk to me. You know what? Your slave is doing some weird shit. Can I punish you? Is it okay? If you have to check. And if you're dealing with sensitive members of your community, yeah, check with them. War is not for sensitive people. There were strong women in there. They fallen. They fall hard. That's true. There were strong men. So it is a capital offense for a female slave to wear the garment of a woman. That's very true. It shouldn't be done. I've heard rumors of Indonesian port having slaves wearing abdus. I have seen a lot of them in the Sims that I've been wearing abdus indoors or sometimes out there. I don't know why y'all wearing abdus. I have no idea why. That is one of the few things that free women are able to do to tell someone, hey, I'm free. And you're taking it away. You already cover yourselves up in 1,000 pieces of prims or mesh or jewelry you buy it that somebody gives you whatever because you have whatever privilege, but it is stupid. The abtu, it's like the initiate's garments. They're white. The abtu is like the home stone. It's just I'm not saying this from a book perspective though. Don't get me wrong here, right? Just because it bugs me. I'm seeing these things with these abdus, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Put your hair down, do whatever style you want to do, put a bunch of shit on it. I don't care. Flowers, whatever you want to do. Like, they wear these flowers, but then when you're dealing with them, it's like, what the heck are you again? Then you have the good ones, which are hard to find, but good, not like doing good things, just like they're good role players. So, the abdu, you can wear a skirt, but you should be topless. You can wear nipple coverings, but not have a bottom piece. A lot of them are covering up like crazy, and I'm just like, okay, maybe your free woman wants you to cover up. I get it. That's okay. You can cover them up, but don't make them look like you. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, I've had female ones. I've had them wear skirts. I've had them. I mean, there was a coin girl, so there was a pleasure one, so I couldn't really cover up too much. I needed to use her to get influence and political stuff. So she was my coin girl. I had a love one, and I had a tower. That one was a little bit more covert. That was always with me because that one was out there trying to get brownie points. So that was the red silk. That was, I think, it was always a tower. Very close. You have different types of slaves. You have love slaves, coin girls, coin slaves, paga slaves, pleasure, open and open, whatever you want to call it. So, just don't make them look like free women. It's very annoying. I don't know what they're doing it, but they're doing it a lot lately. Like, come on. You can buy all their hair. Even the wagon free women, with their braids. I see a lot of regular slaves just with the braids. Like, I mean, if you're a wagon slave, I get it. Like, you have your braid, you have your septum ring, that's okay. But in the regular South, in the regular Southern city, when an abdu right next to a free woman, like, and I feel like maybe the free woman typists are the one actually encouraging this behavior, which is really annoying. Also, the veils, stop. If you're not on the sands, if you're not dancing, if your dance doesn't involve or require veils, don't wear them out there. Maybe a sheer one, it's okay. But cover it up and whatnot, it's very cringy. So a shell born out of his slave becomes a slave belongs to the mother's owner. That is true. If you have a breeding house, you already know what this means. Or a breeding pen, whatever you guys want to call it. Which were big and are. Very, very big and are, especially with the exotics and all the mixed things they used to do and whatnot. The eye color, the abilities, the immunity to poison, immunity to this and that, fighting, whatever. And there could be a lot of fighting slaves over there. The eye color, the hair color, this stuff was big. You can do this role, but that's all right. I know I had one girl that was immune to poison, so yeah. Any free woman who couches with another slave or prepares to do so becomes a self slave, becomes the slave of a male master, and this is known as the coaching law. This one belongs in art only, though. Our station and our banner cities, that's where it belongs. I seen the couching law everywhere. I was just like, why do you have the couching law? Just have a rental system. That's all. You can rent your slave to another person, or the slave holders can rent them out before you buy them or something. I don't know, but the couching lot, it only belongs in art. It shouldn't be on your sim. Have a rental system. It's much more fun because you're renting it, and if things don't work out, you can stop renting it, and then you could pick another one. You guys talk, silly, you make sure everyone is okay with their level of sensitivity and what they want to do in the game, and if they're okay with this and that. You get all that out of the way because we're in the age of sensitivity right now. The slaves are never allowed in the temples. We already talked about that. Yes, the initiates are crazy about this. If a father cannot be his desire to become slave of the state, she will be put up for sale at public auction. By the way, public auctions didn't take a month or 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 to happen. They happen almost daily in their books. The procedure for sale will be used to equitably satisfy the creditors. Yeah, Free Woman in Debt was a bad story. It's why if you want to borrow from someone, borrow from a female, don't borrow from no man unless it's the regular banker or money lender dealing with you. But be careful with that. There's money lender free women, and they're merchants. I mean, I think the money lenders are their own accounts. Hold on, let me look it up. I gotta look it up. I'm rusty. 1 second. But I know the cousin of money lenders is mentioned. Or are they gonna say about me? You didn't know what that is, but you're a reader. Hold on. When you're a teacher, you should know. Casa Moneylenders, this class is composed of bankers of Gorean. The members of the casa are those who trade and speculate with money for profit. They have no money. Yeah, it's a standalone cast, but it wasn't originally cast. Ah! So it's a subcast of the original cast. So it can be. It can be. It really depends on the city, honestly. The region. Bankers are there, so those are you were dealing with anyway. One of the other you go. 151, we already talked about that. Period. There's punishments for that too. Like, be careful with your death roleplay. I mean, we all need something to go with. I get it. Air girls do not have a homicide, so there will be no legality to prevent their capture and slavery. Yeah, if you have, they call them barbarians. They usually just end up at the slave house and start from there. A lot of them just go there voluntarily. I had one that just joined. I think it was in Loris at one point. She was doing the rope, but she told me that it was a little hard for her because the slavers were either not training her or doing things with the other girls for themselves, and that's it. There was some issues with that slave house, I remember. In my time in Loris, not really giving out any names, to be honest. I did give out names earlier with my rant about worship and in R. I get it. I'm not giving it right now. The slave owner the first and felon must endure whatever abuse a free person cares to inflict on them. This is true. However, I don't see a lot of this happening right now nowadays. It's a lot of baking cake and eating the cookies right now. It's not a lot of like Korean spirit, to be honest. Every person may discipline, insolent. There's a lot of like loving relationships too. Oh, it's like everybody is Taro Cabot and in Telena nowadays. I need sweets. And every person may be disciplined and insolent in her enslaved, and who is in the least displeasing of the slave is killed or injured. Every person need only pay compensation to the master, and only the master requests compensation. Yeah. Especially if you're a magistrate dealing with a slave that was punished or disciplined, if you're lucky enough to find that kind of role play out there. Yeah, you have to bring up the sergeant of compensation. You can have a designated you can designate a like oh, this is how much you got to pay in that, or you can talk to the owner and ask how much they want, how much the parties are willing to pay, if they're gonna have a congeal if they're gonna have a challenge, if they're gonna go to each other's throats for what happened. They're gonna do some love story. Oh, you killed my slave. I'm gonna go fight you at the arena right now because like if that's going on, go ahead and do it. Whatever. 3 minute weird these days, honestly, is why I had to play one so I could kill the weird. You're welcome. But this is very good. You can find this. You can find this if it's a creator or a magistrate. You can come across this, or even as an advocate or litigator. You can find this kind of role play. Oh, there's this like a punish. If you're lucky, like I said, because nowadays it's very hard to see this. Literally, there's like a lovey-dovey sit on my lap all day situation. It's very uncomfortable. Whatever. The crime of false yielding is a capital offense. It's easy to detect through info. Yeah, a lot of masters know how to deal with this, and even the free women too. They know when it's false. Especially the warriors are trained on that too. So you have to look out for that. A lot of these end up in death, though. By the way, it was a normal thing, but nowadays in Gore, it's like you have to talk to everyone and their mother before somebody dies. So I get it. If a slave strikes a person, the penalty is commonly death by impalement, foreseeable by lengthy torture. There you go. Free slaves require specific papers of any omission, or they may be enslaved again without repercussion. Of course, if you have a brand. Um, Removal of brands. I would say it's a questionable statement because the physicians do a lot of things. They do tattoos on your scalp. So I'm pretty sure they can work with a brand if they have to remove it or something. They can do that. No, I'm not saying that it's fading off of the books, but it can happen. It could happen. So there's that. But you need your money mission papers. There's a procedure for this. The scribes can help you with this. The scribes will be doing this. There's a form for it. So there's things for it. Okay. And it should be done. I saw this person becoming free the other day, and I was just like, "Is this gonna be a roleplay about it?" I don't know. Like I say, a lot of the times, a lot of these things are being decided. Oh, see, so when you're a scribe and you're sitting there and you're watching this and that happen, and you're like, "Oh, I feel you." I know you're probably going like, "Oh, but then what am I here for? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, if everything is getting done without me being here, but I'm not a part of it, or I don't know." Because people have this stigma towards forums. They're like, forums are this, forums are that, so they have all this going on towards them. And I understand that it can be complicated. Give me 1 second. All right, back here. So number 57. Remember, the money mission papers is something you would be doing. So I wish you luck with that. By the way, with like you being able to do this or that, sometimes there's gonna be stuff that you're gonna have to like just roll with. But they're very important. If scribes are scribe work, it's extremely, extremely important. We have 2 minutes. So the principle of conduct and getting civility for the quality deals with conduct by a free woman is sufficient to warrant reduction to slavery. It is commonly applied to a fraud, theft, indigency, vagrancy, prostitution, and indulgence in sensuous dance. Other behavior which might trigger the principles includes attempting to spy on masters and slaves, disguising oneself as a slave, carving oneself as a slave, even in the supposed secrecy of one's own compartment, bearing too much flesh, lingering about a slave's shelves or markets, and even exhibiting an interest or in fascination with bondage. The principle deals with overt behavior and not thoughts. Judges must decide if such behavior is sufficient to warrant a reduction to slavery. It is illegal for someone on their own to call a free woman for this conduct without seeking legal action. There is no law that indicates that the amendment enslaved a free woman of his home and son because she has insulted or disrespected him. So, sometimes I see this roleplay happening where it's like they're doing things behind closed doors, which is very, um, it is very, it's questionable. Like I said, you all do whatever you do when you log in and you want to be in World and you want to roleplay whatever, or not, to just stand there, whatever you want to do. Get on Discord, whatever. So, I really don't like Discord. But for you to understand the conduct indicating civility, you have to totally immerse yourself in the whole matter of slavery, and read the books related to, or like Slave of Course, Slave of Course. Sorry, it's a very good book to read for this, but there's just things not to do. And if people would actually do this kind of role play and get in trouble and let a magistrate get involved, or a creator get all the people get involved and actually face consequences and actually go through stuff, that would be great. There are a lot of role play can come out of this if you're there for it. But I'm telling you, a lot of great things are really really taking place in our community, in our that I'm seeing. Maybe, hey, if it's happening, hit me up in World and send me some vlogs. I want to see. If you're doing this role play and it's fun and it's great, you like it, send me some logs. I'm always out there. I may not be online for a little while, but I'll come in and I'll read your logs. If you if there's consequences, there's a trial. I love trial logs. I love reading trial logs. If you want to send me, always welcome to send me anything. So those are my thoughts. I think I gave you everything I wanted to talk about. I gotta make sure the audio works. I will probably make episode 4 next week, if not in the next 2 weeks. Okay, please don't rush me. I'm doing these whenever I have the time. The courses have ended for this edition, so we're gonna come back on October. However, the scribe course might be here sooner. The map maker course might come back sooner. It's very possible. I have a lot going on in September, but I might do something a little earlier, like after my birthday. I might bring things back. Join the group in World Gorean Continental University. Look it up, join it. It's open to join. Everyone is welcome. I don't care if you're new to Gore, if you're seasoned, if you're established. Maybe you don't like me. I don't know. But you're welcome. You don't have to be, free or slave, whatever. If you're a Gorean beast animal, you're welcome to the group to take classes, to have, to talk, if you need anything I can do, like any course or whatever, or just want to chat and it, like, I was thinking of having a region for us, a sim for us, but I was like, what, I'm just gonna teach here and there. If there's a classroom on your sim and you're welcoming teachers, let me know. I would love to come visit. I'll bring a class. We'll do it there. We'll schedule it. If we'll stick it into whatever timestamps you have, time slots, sorry. And just get a schedule and send notices out and have people come in, like it's usually how it goes. But I'm just all open. I don't want to be under this, oh, it's only for this and that, that's it. No, it's all open. Most of the time I get several people, and some graduate, and that's really it. So it's all right. It's all right. I mean, I might have like I'm not doing any slave classes right now because I never role played one, to be honest. That was like the last thing that never really necessarily happened to me in Gore in my time. I roleplay a scribe, roleplay an assassin, roleplay a physician, roleplay a builder, roleplay haven't done initiate though, to be honest. Mostly scribe. Roleplay merchant, so that's what I do. I haven't really done any slave roleplay. Never got interested into maybe training. I could do a slave etiquette. I don't know. I want to use course titles that are used by other uh what would I call it? Other schools and academies and universities in game. I don't want to use the same titles as y'all. Maybe like something. We'll see. Like 101. I want to call myself the place of authority on this subject. So we'll see what I call them, what happens. But there's gonna be a lot coming up. If you want to teach for GCU, hit me up. I'm here. Eva Valentino, Victoria.forreston@gmail.com. You can post a comment on this video. You can hit me up in World. You can join the group and hit me up too. I'm there as founder. So just hit me up. We're looking for teachers. We're looking for sims where you can teach in the BTB general. Okay. Okay. That okay was kind of weird. I know. Oh. Oh boy. I'm glad this happened. Hopefully the audio works fine. But thank you guys for being with me. Always sticking up to my sickness. Always here. Even if I get sick, I have to come. Oh, the classes have been great. I never thought that GCU would happen like this. I'm so happy with what we were doing. And I always say, if I get one student, I'm happy. I don't need 50, 100, 200. All these people come in here. No. Like, if it's only one, I'm good. And it's been making my gore time much more fun now from all the breaks I've taken. Though coming back every time to Second Life, it's like, okay, you go to the search, you look up a Sims, and you're like, like I said, I might do sim reviews. We'll see. We'll see. Probably use a different type of avatar, like an animal avatar. Like I don't want to call too much attention unless I'm doing avatar reviews. Those could be fun. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. But thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Here's your Magistrate Seminar episode number 3. I'll see you guys in episode number 4, and you'll have a good week. I wish you well. Bye. Peanut's gone, so I can't really bring her up here. Peanut! Never mind.